Good news on the economy front from the U.S. government.
It announced a 4.1% growth rate, which is the best quarterly showing since 2014. New at 6, Channel 8 Eyewitness News reporter Zach Worthington has more on how Nebraska is doing. Zach?
Most experts agree it was a good first half of the year for our economy. I spoke with a local economist who does have serious concerns about the future of the state's most important industry, agriculture. The U.S. economy grew at a 4.1% rate in the second quarter of the year. It's the highest level of quarterly growth since 2014. One local economist is satisfied with the growth, but warns there may be trouble ahead.
I have to say it's growing at a pretty brisk pace. There are some warning signals, though, underneath all the good news.
The good news, unemployment is below 4% nationally, manufacturing and banking are doing well, and wages are beginning to rise.
We've seen wages begin to grow at a better pace. Now, a better pace is still not where we need to see them. We're seeing wages grow about 2.8%. That's hardly above inflation. So it needs to rise, but it is rising. That's the good news.
How did this growth happen? Many experts are pointing to a tax measure the president signed in late 2017.
A lot of it did come, in my judgment, from reduced regulations, but also the tax reform bill that was passed in 2017, which really boosted economic growth, particularly corporate, what's going on in corporate America.
Goss does see some negatives as well. The president's ongoing trade war with neighboring countries has resulted in agriculture prices going down, especially livestock, soybeans, and corn.
We need international sales, so if we have these rising tariffs, that's problematic for the Nebraska agricultural sector.
Goss is also concerned with the national debt, which has risen 16% since this time last year. President Trump's Tax Cut Act poses to increase the deficit by $1 trillion over the next 10 years. The increase in government spending tends to help the economy in the short term.
Some of it's what I'll call a sugar high, that it is coming off that tax cuts. We are seeing some real issues in terms of trade.
Looking ahead, Goss says two things to keep an eye on are what happens with trade as well as interest rates, with the federal deficit continuing to grow.